Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be talking about the upcoming pattern. We're going to talk a little bit about the severe weather coming up this weekend, and also that temperature pattern. We're expecting a massive cool down to stick around all of next week. I'll be talking about all of that in this video. But before I get started with this video, though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather-related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends, family, and social media. Now, for today's comment of the day, I want to know, what is the first movie you ever remember watching as a child? I remember seeing Brother Bear in theaters for some reason, and I was just thinking about that the other day, so that's why I decided to have this comment of the day. But I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Now, let's get into this video, and first things first, we're looking at today's temperature anomalies, and you can see things have really cooled down. That big cool down we've been talking about is finally here. You're going to feel it if you're in the central or eastern United States that it is very cold compared to normal today. You can see the blues and purples everywhere. Very, very chilly out there, especially compared to how it's been. It's been very, very nice, actually, in the eastern United States, so it's changed big time. Now, as we move on to Sunday AM hours, we're going to see that that's going to change a lot. We're actually going to have a brief warm-up that's going to last basically from Sunday into Monday, and then, well, we're going to have another cool down. So that's going to be very, very short-lived, and you can see there's a lot of warmer than normal conditions, especially for the deep south and south central United States. That's really going to spark up the severe weather for Easter Sunday. It's almost hard to realize that it's Easter. It doesn't even feel real that Easter's coming up. Let me know if you feel that way as well. It's kind of weird, but just because nobody really has plans now because of everything, it just doesn't even feel like Easter's coming up. It doesn't feel like that's happening. Now, we're about to move on, and we're actually going to deep dive a little bit into that severe weather risk, so I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Now, here it is, and we're looking at our CAPE first off, which is our convective available potential energy, and we can see that those purple colors and even pink colors are showing up. That's where we have 1,000 to even 4,000 CAPE possibly down there for Texas. This is basically thunderstorm fuel. That's the most simple way to put it. When this value is high in a certain area, typically that means that thunderstorm development is going to be very favorable. So we are going to see thunderstorms start to develop already on Sunday morning. So let's go ahead and move on to our simulated radar. This is going to be very brief, guys. I know a lot of you that are watching this don't live in these regions, so you probably don't really care that much, but I just wanted to show this, give you guys a little bit of an update. Here is by about 2 p.m. on Sunday, April 12th, again, Easter. And we can see that Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, especially the northern portions of those states, have very, very potent looking thunderstorms, and also up through Tennessee and Kentucky are going to be quite bad. Tomorrow's video is actually going to be specifically for the severe weather risks, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to really give you guys a deep dived update into that, and I might even be going live throughout the day tomorrow. Alright, now we're going to take a look here at our NAM 12 cam because we have to move a little bit further in the future. This is actually heading towards early Monday. This is maybe about 12 a.m. on Monday, April 13th. And then as we move towards about, this is maybe about noontime on Monday, you can see those are arriving for the southeast coast actually. And we're going to have a severe weather threat for Monday on the southeast coast as well. We'll talk all about that as we move on. Now, we're about to move on, and we're going to take a look again at the temperature anomalies. And then at the very end of this video, I'm actually going to touch on the severe weather again, kind of give you guys a more thorough update on what I'm thinking as far as the severe weather threat this weekend. Alright, so we're taking a look here, and you can see this is actually by Monday at about 2 p.m. And you can see that, again, this is maybe when we're having those severe thunderstorms arrive for the southeast coast. We have much warmer than normal conditions expected here for the southeast coast, so that's really going to make it more ripe for that thunderstorm development. But look right behind it. Again, that warm-up, is going to be very, very short-lived. Look at all the pinks and the purples. This second one might even be more potent than the first one that we're going to be experiencing this weekend. And I talked about this almost a week ago now as far as a big cool down, and sure enough, it's happening here. But we're going to have this cool down, and as we head towards Tuesday at about 8 a.m., you can see it arrives for the East Coast. And as you can see, it looks very, very potent here, very potent. We see lots of purples for lots of areas. The areas that just saw severe weather are going to be very chilly in those purples. That's where you're anywhere from 6 to 16 degrees below average Celsius. People always ask me, why do you use Celsius? It's the website, not me. I would obviously use Fahrenheit if that was an option, but it really isn't at this point. But all you need to know is that that's far below what you're typically expecting to feel like outside this time of year if you're in the purples or even the deep blues. And we see that very, very widespread throughout, especially the central United States, but all the way to the eastern seaboard, maybe with the exception of Maine and then Florida, as you can see. Now, the interesting thing here is, well, as we head towards Sunday, you can see it is still below average for the central and eastern United States. It's finally maybe letting up by Sunday, but really it's not going to let up anywhere in between Tuesday and Sunday. So this is going to be a very long-lived cool down. It could last the entire week. So I hope you guys enjoyed the very nice weather. I told you guys to soak it in because I saw this coming. And sure enough, it looks like it's going to be a big cool down. And it's going to last quite a long time here. Now we're about to move on, and we're going to take a look at when we could potentially see some warm air return. So that's going to be very interesting to take a look at. And then we're going to kind of take the pattern all the way through the entire model run. And then we're once again, like I said, going to talk about that severe weather potential again. All right, and here we are at about Tuesday of next week, so April 21st, and we can see a little bit of a southeast ridge builds in. And a southeast ridge basically just means that the Gulf air is making its way up into the southeastern United States, kind of warming things up, and you can see that's pretty much the look here on Tuesday, April 21st. The thing you need to note is that this is very far out, and it's showing it right now, but it could literally still be cold at this point. We really don't know, but right now the model with the pattern it sees coming up, it does see the potential for a southeast ridge to build back in by next week, but we'll have to wait and see. Even though it shows that by Wednesday, it shows another cool down coming back in. So after this big cool down this entire week, it seems like we might be in a flip-floppy pattern actually after this point for the rest of April, where it's kind of cool down, warm up, cool down, warm up. So that would be very interesting to see, and that's not really something we've been seeing throughout the year. Let's head towards Friday, April 24th, and you can see very, very cold conditions for the eastern United States. Again, very, very far out, but I just wanted to show this because the model shows more very potent cold air coming into the eastern United States as we head later into April. All right, now we're about to move on, and we're actually going to take a look again at that severe weather risk, like I said. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to take a look at the timing for Monday, which is going to be for the mid-Atlantic and southeast coast. I'm going to deep dive a little bit into the potential severe weather risk for a lot of the mid-Atlantic and southeast here. All right, so we're taking a look at our GFS model, and this is all going to be at 2 p.m. on Monday, so I want to take a look at the timing because this could be very important. You can see on the GFS by 2 p.m. on Monday, it already has the storms kind of offshore. This would be limited, very, very slight chance at severe weather because they would all be hitting in the nighttime, basically. They would be not really growing and intensifying with the warm air, so this would be a much less intense outcome if the GFS was correct. Now let's take a look at what the Canadian model thinks. We're going to do all of the models. The Canadian model isn't necessarily good, but I'm just showing it so we can see what this is saying. And this is the same hour, and you can see they're only located in the central regions of Virginia, central regions of North Carolina, closer to the coast in South Carolina, but they're still not offshore like the GFS was showing. If at 2 p.m. they're not offshore, they're going to intensify a lot more, and we're going to see more of an enhanced risk for the southeast coast and mid-Atlantic. I think that an enhanced risk is definitely a chance, but I'm expecting a slight chance from the Florida Panhandle up through Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and into Virginia, even the potential up into Maryland, Delaware, possibly the whole Delmarva. So I am expecting that risk to kind of go pretty high up, and that would be mostly for wind. Now let's take a look at the NAM model, and this is by 2 p.m. once again, and you can see it doesn't have it offshore like the GFS, so this would again be a much more intense outcome because these storms would start to rapidly intensify. Here's the European model. And this is by 8 a.m. I wanted to show this because it already has the storms pretty intense by 8 a.m., but look at how far west they are. They're going to start to intensify as things warm up very rapidly, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m. And by the time they're reaching the coast, these could be very potent thunderstorms. Here's 2 p.m. You can see it has it arriving at the coast by about 2 p.m. This would be kind of worst case scenario, and here's why. Here's the temperatures by 8 or 2 p.m. and you can see 70s and 80s pretty widespread along these states. And then here's the dew points. Very, very moist air. We have 60s and 70s along the southeast coast and up into the Delmarva, even eastern Pennsylvania and portions of New Jersey. This is definitely sufficient for severe weather. Very, very interesting to see this, the dew points this high. That's very good for severe weather development, and I am expecting a good chance that if we do see the later arrival of the thunderstorms, that we do have a really good chance for the coastal regions of the southeast and mid-Atlantic for at least wind damage to be pretty scattered throughout, and also tornadoes with embedded supercells. So we're going to have to watch that very closely. Again, if they arrive earlier, we're going to have a very, very minimalized threat for severe weather. So that's the difference, is timing. Now, very quickly, here's your shear, and this is at about 8 a.m. So this is what the storms are going to be working with earlier in the morning. Very, very high shear. And all you need to know about shear is that when we have a lot of shear, there's more chance for tornadoes. And when we have less shear, there's less chance for tornadoes. And that's only if there's thunderstorms under them. Obviously, in this case, there will be. Then last but not least, here's your vorticity. And this is where there will be some, well, vorticity or rotation in the atmosphere. And you can see this is at 2 p.m. and this is where the thunderstorms will be located. So there will be lots of rotation around for these thunderstorms to take. So I'm expecting the chance for tornadoes along the eastern seaboard for Monday. Obviously, if we get the later arrival of the thunderstorms, that is. Now, for today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, what is your favorite type of car? And I was looking all over for this one because I wanted to pick my favorite car too. And the very, very bottom comment was from Roman, and it said, my favorite car is a Dodge Demon. I know Dodges aren't really known for being reliable, but I absolutely love a Dodge Demon, especially the Charger ones. I absolutely love the new Chargers and the way they look. I think they're absolutely awesome. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and social media. I will see you guys in the next video.